Okay, everyone, welcome back again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some meatballs. I guess you call them Italian style or whatever. What you need is your beef. You don't have to put this in it, but this is two kinds of Italian sausage, which is going to be used for my meat sauce that I'm going to be making out of the leftovers. So I'm going to save probably 1/3 of this for my sauce, or my meat sauce, and the rest of this is going to be turned into meatballs. So this one is, which is hot or mild? Sweet, or you can call it mild. So that means this one's the hot. Okay, so I got about 2 pounds of each. I want to use 2 of each of these. In my meatballs. So, I'm going to take the meat, put it in the bowl. Alright, so that's there. Take your sausages, and just take the skin off, slice it straight down like that. Take that out of your skin, and just throw it in there with the rest. So. And I find that the easiest way to peel a sausage is to cut it open like that. Most people, they try and squeeze it out, but as you can tell, you get all the meat out when you split it down and then peel. So peel your sausages out. Get trash out of the way. Now I use my hands. I've already washed them, but you're going to want to take bowl. You want at least 2 eggs in here. I'm gonna hold it all together. But you want to whip or beat or whatever your egg a little bit before you use it. It just mixes in better. Alright, so I'm going to start working this together a little bit before I even add that. But the reason I like to use my hands is because it just gets a nice, rough mix with that. But I squeeze and I pull and twist as I do that. You take that, squish it back down a couple of times. And then mess through it again. That'll mix your meat with your pork. Alright, so that's in there. Normally, what I would use is plain breadcrumbs, but I don't have any plain breadcrumbs today. So, I don't have a measuring cup right there. I'm just using a measuring cup as a scooper. This is a 1/2 cup. I'm going to use about at least a 1/2 cup anyhow. So go about a cup. And since these are already pre-Italian seasoned, I don't have to add too much of my seasoning to it. Which my seasoning is salt and pepper. I should use my electric grinder for that. Probably make it a lot easier. But alright, so there's that. I add paprika. I add smoked paprika, a little bit of salt, and then I've got oregano. I'll make sure you got, I don't know, about a teaspoon, yeah, a teaspoon right around there, in there, which is quite a bit, I guess you could say, but I like it. Red peppers, And then we got rosemary here. We're gonna use half a teaspoon, somewhere around there. Right, so that's there. You know, add a little bit of garlic. You can use fresh garlic if you want, but there's that. Got all of those in there. That's my other rosemary. So those are done. You want to get this mixed up a little bit, and then you'll add your egg to that. And the egg's going to help hold it all together, kind of give it a little fluffier of a texture too. So get that mixed in. Some people like to use a lot more breadcrumbs than that. Go ahead and use 2 cups. It's not going to hurt anything. It's going to make your meatballs actually more tender. So get that real well mixed in there. Then you want to get your egg in that. So it gets a little bit more messy. Now you don't have to use egg. You don't have to use breadcrumbs. But the reason you use the egg with the breadcrumb is that's what helps hold it together again. The breadcrumbs, they're there to you know, take up space and give you more volume to your meat. Alright, so that's not perfectly mixed in, but it's mixed in better than some could be. So I'm just folding it over, pressing it back down. Alright, so that's all done. Get that out of my way. Let me rinse off real quick so I can grab my pan. Okay, so you get your pan. Now the easiest way to do this is, where did I put that measuring cup? There it is. So this is the ½ cup measuring cup. I want to take that and fill it up. There we go. That's a meatball right there. ½ cup. Take that out of there. You can use 1 cup if you want, but you take them out, you know, form them into a ball the best you can. Bam, meatball. Put it on your tray like this with the, you don't have to use parchment paper on it like that. I use parchment paper for, well, oh, there goes my measuring cup. But I use the parchment paper just because it's a little cleaner on my workstation. And then I can easily clean up. Meatball about 2 inches apart. Let me get another measuring cup. Oh crap. I'm gonna wash that measuring cup. And that's because I want to keep everything the same relative size and everything, because the closer they are to the same size, they're all gonna cook at the same speed then. Take the same amount of time. So that was the right size. Good. So if you want to make sure they stick together better, you know, like that. Kind of like you would for a hamburger. So there's 3 so far. So I'm going to make probably 10, somewhere around there, maybe 12. But that one's a little broken apart. I'm going to beat it together a little. You can fit probably 6 per pan. I've got 2 pans I'm going to do. So I would pause it right now if I could, but I can't get to the other side of the phone. So, oops. Yeah, I guess it would have been better to use the camera today. So there's another one. And I've got my oven set to 425 right now, which is, you know, just the temperature I want it at, so it caramelizes these, because I want them to cook nice and fast. Alright, so now those 6 meatballs, they're going directly in the oven just like that. I'll put the other 6 in with it after that. But 425, and you want to cook them for about 25 minutes to 1 hour. Or no, 25 minutes to a half an hour, sorry about that. And then, you know, you can check the temp of them with your probe or whatever, but I just go by, you know, about 20 minutes or so usually is perfect. So, but that's how I make my meatballs, and then I'll show you how to make meat sauce here in a few. Well, I'll get those finished off camera later, and then you'll see them when they're all done for the next episode. So, I hope that wasn't out of focus for the whole show. Alright, so I'm back again. I just made those the meatballs. They're sitting in the oven right now at 425. Oh, they smell great. Alright, so now I want to show you guys how I make my my meat sauce that I use. For you can use it for spaghetti, you could use it for sandwiches, you can use it for just a topping. I don't care what you do with it. You can use it on pizza also. It's probably really good on pizza. It's been a long time since I've made a pizza. I want to make a pizza now. Dang it. I had to start thinking about making pizza. Okay, so just like I did last time for the meatballs, is you're going to split it down the center just so you can take your skin off. And make sure you have a really sharp knife for this step, because these skins aren't exactly the easiest things to cut through. You might want to grab a razor blade or something if you don't have extremely sharp knives. But alright, so you're going to put all your meat into your pan, and you're just going to brown that off. After you've browned it all off, you're going to add your other spices, which I guess I will have to show you guys here in a little bit, because well, I'm not going to run the video long enough to make this whole sauce all at once. So I'll brown the meat, I'll pause it, I'll do whatever, I'll figure it out. But first thing first, split your casings, take your sausage out of your casing, put your beef in there with it. Now you can use more beef than that if you want, but it's what I had left over from my meatballs. So, and I prefer with my meat sauce to use just the sausage or pork. So anyhow, you got that there. You get your bay leaf. You can put it in now with it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's usually when I put the bay leaf in is right now. So you take that, put it over on your stove, brown it off. We'll grab another bay leaf. I keep a whole bunch of them in my little container. I'll throw 2 more in there. Won't hurt anything. Love the taste of bay leaf when it comes to Italian food and Italian sausage, or sauces, not sausage. Now, I do want to throw a little bit of seasoning in on with that. So I'm going to take rosemary, which is what I added to the other, and I'm going to use oregano. Probably want to use, about 1/4 teaspoon of each. Rosemary in your sauce is actually one of those better flavors. Now let me grab my spoon. Alright, looks like I need to start this off with a little bit of oil. So I'm going to grab my olive oil, and I'm going to put a little bit in the pan just to help the meat start browning, because it's sticking to the bottom of the pan. You see that? So you just add a little bit of oil in there to keep it from sticking quite as much, start browning. But you just want to rough chop this up with the spoon anyhow. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll all start breaking down more and more soon. So, back over here again. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt to this right now. I just put about 3 teaspoons in there. And you probably could go a little bit more than that, because the salt helps to cut the acid in it. Which, the acid's coming from tomatoes. They have a lot of acid in them. Right now what I'm doing is I'm grinding some fresh pepper in. So, got the pepper in there. I'm going to add some more of my red flake peppers. That's good enough. They're not really for a spice, they're more for a flavor. I'll add 2 paprikas, smoked paprika and regular normal paprika. And I don't really have a measurement, I just go a couple of shakes. So now that those are in, I'm going to get a little garlic. And I will be getting the fresh garlic out here in a little bit, put that in there with it. But for now, it's just going to all sit there and brown. I guess I can show you guys what that's looking like real quick. And here comes the pause button so I can get this stuff taken care of without having to be bothered by the camera. So. Yum. Wish you guys had smell-o-vision. So there it is. It's browning. It's not quite done yet, but it's almost there. I gotta go through, break up a lot of these chunks of sausage that are still in there. But I like large chunks of my sauce. Large chunks are good. Bigger is better. Alright, so that's gonna brown off the rest of the way and then I'll be back to show you the last of the ingredients, which are pretty simple. It's going to be tomato paste, it's going to be tomato sauce, and roasted tomatoes. But I usually will add like whole tomatoes and just crush them up by hand. But I didn't feel like going through that whole step and everything. So this is cooking away and getting brown. The easiest way to brown something is walk away from it. So I'm going to pause it and walk away. Okay, so it's not quite done yet. It's still, got a lot of browning to do. It's cooked, but it's not browned the way I want it to be. So I could add the seasoning or the rest of the stuff right now, but actually, you know what? I think I will, just for the heck of it. So you're gonna, see that? Can't even freaking dump that in there easily. Let me just grab something and show you a little trick. Okay, here's the little trick. I'll stand it on top of this one since it's already been opened. So you grab your can opener, pierce it. That should be good enough, that one little hole. You put your mouth around it like this, and you blow on it. Plop. Empty. So there you go. That's my method of getting stuff out of the can. A little hole there. I'm going to blow on it with my mouth. Plop. Not all of it came out this time, but that's okay. I mean, that's a simple way to do it, isn't it? I just blinded myself. Got my spatula, press this in here. Oh shit. I forgot I wanted to put some sauteed onion in there, so I guess I wanted to get some sauteed onion in there with it, so I guess I'll have to do that in a different pan, and then I'll add it later. But that'll be probably at least 2 onions, yeah. 2 onions, maybe 3, chopped and added. So I'll get those cut up and started here in a second, show you guys it all finish here in a few minutes, but I'm going to add the rest of this stuff to it. This is the fire roasted diced tomato, which you don't have to use fire roasted or diced or anything like that. Use anything you freaking want, I don't really care. I just like fire roasted. brings out flavors. So I'm just gonna add all this like that. Let it sit there for a second. Okay, I got it. Got the sauce. It's just plain old tomato sauce. Add that directly to it like so. Add your second one to it like so. You just let this simmer for like an hour like that, and it'll be good. Especially once you get some onion in there, which will make it even better. I'm going to put some fresh crushed garlic in there also. So, anyhow, for all intents and purposes, this is finished. But for those of you that want to add, vegetable to it or whatever else into it, go ahead and add that stuff anytime. You can add anything you want to a meat sauce. Doesn't matter. The main ingredient's got to be meat and some red sauce. So however you want it, do it up. So hope you all enjoy learning how to make my red sauce. And those are starting to brown up quite nicely, so those are about done also. Those look really good. And then maybe tomorrow I'll show you how to make a sandwich out of this. Enjoy, everybody. Tricked ya. Y'all thought I was done. Nope. Anyhow, I got my onion. And my sauce is still sitting. Yeah, it's been here for like 20 minutes or so. Just simmering away. Which is going to do that for a little while. I'm going to put these in with that. Before I do that, I'm going to toss a little bit of water in there to deglaze the pan. Alright, so that's deglazed. You can see how this pan's mostly cleaned down there now. So I'm going to turn that off. I'll dump these in here, but I got to put the phone down, so be right back. And so, now they're in. I'm not going to mix it too well right here. They'll get in mixed in all on their own. Have plenty of time to meld together with their flavors. So, anyhow, that's pretty much done. It's going to sit on this pan for another half an hour or so, and then I'll shut it off, and then I won't eat it till tomorrow. I might even have to add a little bit of water to it to thin it out just a little bit, because it seems like it is a little thick. But that's okay. I like my meat sauce to be thick because, well, it's more of something that I dip my bread in, or I scoop with bread, or I put on a sandwich with meat. So it's not always the best for spaghetti, because that's just, not the way I do things. I don't like spaghetti. Spaghetti's gross. But spaghetti with this on it, that would probably be pretty damn good. But spaghetti with that sauce that you buy in the store, like, let me see if I can find a can. Here's my pantry. Oh, there's one right there. This stuff, not even worth using for anything. It's horrible. I don't even want to use it in my sauce mix. But they make good, or not, they don't make good tomatoes, but they grow good tomatoes and they have good product other than that. So, sauce is done. Let me see. These are probably done too. Oh, those are perfect. Look at those. Alright, so let me pause this, pull one out. Or I can pull it out to show you the way they look in the oven. Look at that. That's just pretty. Alright. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. So those will be ready for when I make my sandwich or when I make pasta, because this will go right on top of the pasta. Each person usually gets one, maybe two meatball per serving of pasta. They go right on top of the noodle, and then you put the sauce on top of that. So I'm actually gonna store these in sauce. So I'll take these and I'll put them into, I don't know, probably one of these, and then I'll add a little bit of the sauce in with that, just because it'll just give them a little bit more flavor. But that is one yummy looking meatball, and they're not spicy. The reason I didn't make them spicy because my son doesn't like spicy stuff, but I just love all those little bits of caramelized goo that came out of all of them. Which, that's the reason why I bake them at 425, 450, 475, somewhere around there. High heat just gives a nice deep caramelization to it. It gives it that much more flavor. So, I hope you all learned a good amount today about, you know, how to cook meatballs and my red sauce. And the only thing I left out was the exact measurements. So, do what you will with it. I hope you all have fun. And I'm going to get off to the computer and play some video games like a lazy bump on a log. So, goodbye everyone.